All right, so are you ready to dive into some real-life weight loss stuff today? Like, forget all those, like, generic tips and tricks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. We're going way deeper, like actually looking at someone's, entire journey.
Exactly. It's kind of like a behind-the-scenes look at what it really takes to, you know, to change your body.
And the coolest part, we're not just talking theories here. We've got real data, like we're tracking someone's actual progress.
Love it. Okay, so we're focusing on this blog post. It's by a guy named Ang. The title's kind of catchy, Notes on Dieting, Part 46. Daily body weight from October to December 2024. And he just published it yesterday, December 31st, 2024, on his blog, kianmeng.org.
Perfect timing for a New Year's resolution deep dive.
Uh-huh. So get ready, because by the end of this thing, you'll have a much better grasp on, like, how weight fluctuates, what those numbers on the scale actually mean, and maybe even steal some of Ang's strategies.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Okay, so Ang's been super diligent. Tracking his weight all through 2024, this post specifically zooms in on the last quarter, October to December, and he's even included these graphs. Super helpful for visualizing everything. First up, we've got his daily weight for those 3 months. The blue line shows his daily readings, and whoa, there are some massive dips in late October and mid-December, both down to almost 66 kilograms.
Yeah, those are pretty dramatic drops.
Right. What could even cause changes that sudden?
Probably a bunch of things working together. Fat loss is the obvious goal, right? But got to think about muscle loss, too, which unfortunately can't happen when you're trying to lose weight.
Makes sense. But wait, there's more to it than just fat and muscle, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Our bodies are constantly messing with fluid levels. We usually call that water weight.
Water weight. So like the number on the scale can be off because of how much water we're holding? Isn't that kind of misleading?
It can be, yeah. But it's just a normal thing our bodies do. Stuff like what you eat, hormones, even sleep quality. It all affects water retention.
Okay, so even if the scale shows a big drop, it doesn't mean you've magically lost a ton of fat overnight.
Nope. The trend over time matters way more than those daily ups and downs. Speaking of trends, check out the orange line on that same graph.
That's the trend line for Q4. It's going slightly up. So even with those huge dips, his overall weight for the last 3 months went up a bit. That's got to be discouraging.
Not necessarily. Weight loss is rarely a straight line down. There'll always be bumps along the way. To really understand what's going on, we've got to zoom out and look at the whole year. Ang's got another graph for that. What do you see there?
Okay, now this is interesting. The orange line on this yearly graph, it's clearly trending down the whole time. So even though he gained a little in Q4, he's still been successful overall. It's like taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but ultimately still moving in the right direction.
Exactly. Those short-term fluctuations are totally normal. Our bodies just do their thing. Sometimes we hold on to water. Sometimes hormones are all over the place. So many factors. But that downward trend over the whole year tells us Ang's strategy is working. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Oh, okay, that's reassuring. It's so easy to get caught up in those daily changes and freak out when the scale goes up even a tiny bit.
Absolutely. And that's why tracking your weight consistently like Ang is so valuable. Helps you see those little ups and downs for what they are and focus on the long game.
So let's talk strategy. What's helping Ang reach his goals? In the post, he mentions 3 main things. Intermittent fasting, following a 2.1.1 ratio for his diet. That's plants, protein, carbs. And then getting more active through gardening, strength training, things like that.
So we're looking at the how and the why here. What are these methods and how do they contribute to success? And more importantly, how can our listeners use this?
Good point. Okay, break it down for us. What's the deal with intermittent fasting? Sounds kind of intense, like are we talking starvation here?
Not at all. Intermittent fasting isn't really about what you eat. It's more about when you cycle between eating and not eating on a schedule. There are a few different ways to do it, but a common one is the 168 method. You fast for 16 hours and have an 8-hour eating window.
So basically skipping breakfast.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. And there's actually some cool science behind why it might work for weight loss. For one, it often naturally reduces how many calories you eat overall. But there's more to it than that. Studies are showing it can have a positive impact on certain hormones, the ones that control appetite and fat burning.
Hormones. Now things are getting complicated.
Well, think of it like this. Your body makes a hormone called ghrelin. That's the one that tells you you're hungry. And then there's leptin. That signals fullness. Intermittent fasting seems to affect the levels of these hormones, so you end up feeling less hungry and more full, which naturally leads to eating less without feeling deprived.
Okay, so it's not just about willpower. It's about working with your body's natural rhythms. I like that.
Exactly. But it's not magic, and it's not for everyone. If you've got any health conditions, talk to your doctor before trying it out.
Good advice. Now, this 2.1.1 diet, that's a new one for me. What's the thinking behind those ratios?
It's all about balance and getting enough nutrients while still losing weight. Basically, Aang aims to fill half his plate with fruits and veggies, a quarter with protein, and the last quarter with carbs.
Gotcha. So it's not about cutting out entire food groups like some crazy diets, more about getting the right amount of everything. Makes sense to me.
It's way more sustainable than restrictive diets, and it gives your body everything it needs: energy, muscle maintenance. Especially important since Aang's worried about losing muscle while losing weight.
Right. And we can't forget exercise. He's not just hitting the gym, he's gardening, strength training, finding activities he actually likes.
That's a huge takeaway. It's not just about burning calories, it's about moving in ways you enjoy, making it part of your life.
I've always heard muscle weighs more than fat. Could that be
Mhm.
messing with Aang's weight fluctuations? Is he gaining muscle?
Definitely possible. Muscle's a lot denser than fat. Imagine a suitcase packed tight with clothes compared to a fluffy bag full of feathers. They might weigh the same, but the suitcase takes up way less space. Muscle is like the packed suitcase. Fat's like the fluffy bag. So you could be building muscle and losing fat at the same time.
Yeah.
Your body composition's changing for the better, even if the scale isn't budging much.
Ah, so that's why they say focus on how your clothes fit, not just the number on the scale.
Exactly. It's about the big picture, not just one single number.
All right, so we've established Aang's overall weight trend is going down, which is awesome. But we're also seeing periods of rapid weight loss, then plateaus, or even slight increases. What's the deal with that? Just normal fluctuations or something else?
Well, remember, he's doing intermittent fasting. That can cause bigger swings in weight compared to just cutting calories the traditional way.
Right. Makes sense. You're going back and forth between eating and not eating, so your body's got to adjust. Can you explain how that plays into the weight changes we see on his graph?
Of course. So when you fast, your body starts using up its glycogen stores for energy. Glycogen's basically stored carbs. And here's the key. Glycogen binds to water.
So when you burn through that glycogen, you lose water weight too. That explains those sudden drops.
You got it. That's why people often see a big weight loss right when they start intermittent fasting. But it's mostly water, not just fat.
Makes sense. But what about when his weight jumps back up, even though he's still fasting?
When you break your fast and start eating again, your body refills those glycogen stores, which brings the water weight back.
Ah, so it's like refilling the tank. Not necessarily bad, just your body keeping things balanced.
Exactly. Super important to remember that, so you don't think you've messed up your progress.
Mm-hmm.
Those fluctuations are normal.
So we need to focus on the trend over time, not those individual weigh-ins.
You got it. And don't forget all those other things we talked about. Water retention, hormones, stress sleep. It all matters.
This is making me realize how little I know about my own body. Maybe I should start tracking my weight daily.
It can be really eye-opening. Data can be super powerful when you use it to understand your body better. Helps you make smarter choices about your health.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot about weight fluctuations, water weight, hormones, glycogen stress, sleep, even when to weigh yourself. Anything else you should consider before moving on?
You know, before we dive into the details of Aang's 2.1.1 diet, maybe we should talk about some other common reasons for weight changes, things our listeners might relate to.
Good idea. Let's broaden our understanding a bit before we get into the specifics of Aang's diet plan. Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll uncover even more secrets about weight fluctuations.
Welcome back. So ready to unravel more of this weight fluctuation puzzle.
You know what? After part 1, I'm kind of realizing those numbers on the scale jumping around would totally mess with my head. Like, I'd think I was doing something wrong.
Totally get it. We all get fixated on that number. But remember, weight's affected by so many things. Most of them have nothing to do with actual fat gain or loss.
So besides water weight and glycogen, what else is going on behind the scenes that could cause those daily changes?
Let's talk hormones,
Mm.
especially noticeable for women. Estrogen and progesterone can make your body hold on to water, leading to weight fluctuations throughout the month.
So for women listening, it's totally normal to see some weight gain around their period.
Absolutely. It's not unusual to see a few pounds of water weight fluctuation before or during your period, just your body doing its thing.
Okay, good to know. It's not just calories in and calories out. There's a whole hormonal dance happening in the background.
Exactly. And hormones aren't just about menstrual cycles. Stress and sleep can totally mess with your hormonal balance too, which affects weight.
Hold on. Are you saying stress can make you gain weight? So all those late nights and to-do lists are actually making me heavier?
It's not that simple. But yeah, there's a connection. When we're stressed, our bodies pump out this hormone called cortisol. It helps us deal with tough situations. But if it's constantly high, it can lead to more fat storage, especially around the belly.
Okay, so managing stress isn't just good for my mental health. It's crucial for my physical health, too. Note to self, chill out more.
Exactly. Same goes for sleep. When you're sleep deprived, your body makes more ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and less leptin, the fullness hormone.
So basically, lack of sleep makes you crave more food and feel less satisfied after eating. No wonder I'm ravenous when I pull an all-nighter.
It's a recipe for overeating for sure. When you're sleep deprived, your body's stressed and wants quick energy, usually in the form of sugary, high-calorie stuff.
So getting enough sleep is as important as eating right and exercising if you're trying to lose weight.
It's all connected. Sleep stress, hydration hormones, they all play a role in those daily weight changes, like a giant puzzle where every piece matters.
No wonder it's so hard to figure out what's going on with our weight. So many factors.
It is complex, but that's what makes it so fascinating. By understanding these different factors, we can interpret those weight changes better and not get discouraged when the scale does its own thing.
That's what this deep dive's all about, giving you the knowledge to become your own weight detective.
Exactly. Speaking of data, let's circle back to Eng's journey and see if we can apply what we've learned.
Okay, so we know his overall trend is down. That's great. But we're also seeing periods of fast weight loss followed by plateaus or even increases normal fluctuations or something else going on.
Remember, he's using intermittent fasting. That can cause bigger swings than traditional calorie restriction.
Right, because you're switching between eating and not eating. So your body goes through these different metabolic processes. Can you walk us through how that might be affecting his weight?
Sure. When you fast, your body starts using up its glycogen stores for energy. And as we discussed, glycogen is bound to water.
So when you burn through that glycogen, you also lose water weight, explaining those quick drops on the scale.
Exactly. That's why people often see a big weight loss initially with intermittent fasting. But it's largely water, not just fat.
Gotcha. But then what explains the rebound when his weight goes back up, even if he's still fasting?
When you break your fast and start eating again, your body starts replenishing those glycogen stores, bringing the water weight back.
Ah, so it's like a temporary refilling, not necessarily a setback, just your body trying to stay balanced.
Precisely. Super important to remember so you don't misinterpret those changes and think you've undone all your hard work.
So we need to zoom out and look at the trend, not get caught up in individual weigh-ins.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And consider all the other factors: water retention, hormones, stress sleep. It's all part of the bigger picture.
Man, this is making me realize I don't know enough about my own body. Thinking maybe I should start tracking my weight daily.
It can be really insightful. Data can be powerful when you use it to understand your body better. Helps you make healthier choices.
All right, so we've talked a lot about weight fluctuations, water weight, hormones, glycogen, stress, sleep, even the timing of weigh-ins. Any other common things to watch out for?
Actually, there's one more thing we haven't touched on: exercise. Especially relevant for Eng since he's upped his activity level.
Right. I know exercise is good for you in general and burns calories, but can it cause weight fluctuations too?
Definitely. And it's often a good thing, even if it doesn't seem like it. When you exercise regularly, especially strength training, you build muscle. And as we talked about before, muscle is denser than fat, takes up less space, but can make the scale go up.
So you could be working out, building muscle, losing fat, but the scale might not show it.
Exactly. Another reason to look beyond just that number. Pay attention to how your clothes fit, how you feel in your body, your energy levels. Much better indicators of progress.
I love these deep dives. Always learn something new about my body and get insights I can actually use.
Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to our health. Speaking of knowledge, I think it's time to finally break down Eng's 2.1.1 diet plan.
Okay, let's do it. Time to get into the details of his dietary approach. Stay tuned for part 3 of our deep dive, where we'll explore the world of balanced eating. Okay, so we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into Eng's weight loss journey.
We've seen how much weight can fluctuate, and why it does that.
Yeah, and now it's time to really look at what Eng's actually doing to reach his goal.
Exactly. Let's break it down.
So he mentioned 3 main things in his blog post: intermittent fasting, a 2.1.1 ratio diet, and just being more active overall.
Familiar, right?
We've touched on intermittent fasting already, but maybe just a quick recap of why it might be working for him.
Sure thing. So remember, intermittent fasting is not about what you eat. It's about when you cycle between eating and fasting. And that can naturally lead to eating less overall.
But it's not just about eating less, right? There's more to it.
Right. Some studies show it can actually affect your hormones,
Mm.
specifically the ones that control how hungry you feel and how your body burns fat.
So it could be helping Aang feel less hungry and more satisfied, even while eating less.
Exactly. It's about working with your body's natural systems.
Okay. I'm starting to see why he likes it. But you mentioned it's not for everyone, right?
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
Especially if you have certain health conditions. Always talk to your doctor before making big changes to your diet.
Good advice. Now let's move on to this 2.1.1 diet thing. That's plants, protein, carbs, right? Tell me more about that.
So it's all about balance and making sure you're getting enough nutrients.
Yeah.
Aang aims to fill half his plate with veggies and fruits, a quarter with lean protein, and the last quarter with carbs, like whole grains or starchy veggies.
I like that it's not about cutting out entire food groups. It's just about getting the right amounts of everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that balance is key for losing weight and staying healthy.
And probably a lot easier to stick with than some crazy fad diet.
Definitely. It's about finding a way to eat that you can actually maintain long term.
Makes sense. And then there's the exercise piece. Aang mentioned gardening, strength training, and other activities he enjoys.
It's great that he's found ways to move his body that he actually likes.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be all about the gym. Just got to find ways to make movement part of your life.
Absolutely. And remember, exercise does so much more than just burn calories. It's good for your heart, your bones, your muscles, your mood, even helps you sleep better.
So it's a win-win no matter how you look at it. Aang's approach is all about a holistic view of health, isn't it? It's not just about the scale. It's about taking care of your whole self.
Couldn't have said it better. He's a great example of how we can make real changes that last and improve our lives in so many ways.
So what can our listeners take away from all this? Well, we've seen that weight fluctuates, even if you're doing everything right. And we've learned a few things Aang's doing to reach his goals.
For sure.
But here's a thought for you. What if you tracked your weight every day? What patterns would you see? What's going on in your life that might be affecting those numbers?
It's an interesting question to think about, right?
We encourage you to explore that a little. See what you discover about yourself. You might be surprised.
You might. And remember, no matter what your health goals are, focus on progress, not perfection. Be kind to yourself and celebrate all those little victories along the way.
Great advice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into weight loss and data tracking.